especially on a day like today. And Saturday night has been awesome for the Pirates. They won their first 7 Saturday night games last year here at PNC Park, going 10-3 on the season. And after dropping 4 straight, Saturday night is all right for a win for the Bucks. Pirates and Brewers straight ahead right here on Root Sports.
It's a fireworks night in Pittsburgh, a busy sports day as the Pirates get ready to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. In Game 2 of the 3-game series, the Pirates suffered an 8-4 loss last night. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. The Pirates now have lost 4 straight, Bob. And right now, concern over the bullpen or the pitching as a whole. The Pirate relievers gave up 5 of the 8 runs last night. They've given up runs in 6 of 7 games. But you feel strongly that the bullpen will straighten itself out, Bob, maybe once the starters straighten themselves out.
I believe so. I think one of the problems that we're looking at right now is a little bit of a small sample size. I mean, we're very early into the season, and looking at the stats, they can be a little misleading. But if you look up there at the innings pitched, the first 41 innings, the bullpen has had to work very hard here early in the season. We get some more consistent outings from the starters. That's going to take care of a lot of this bullpen problem, I believe.
And again, taking a look at that column on the right-hand side, already first in terms of innings out of the bullpen in the league. So that is awfully important that the starters go longer in ball games. And charged with that task today, making his 3rd Pirate start, is lefty John Neese.
I think Neese has pitched very well in his first couple of starts. I know his ERA right now, you look at that stat, it looks to be a little high. But I don't think that really truly reflects how well he has pitched to this point. There's been a couple of times where we could have helped him out on defense and we didn't. But I think so far so good. He's been very aggressive in that strike zone, and I look for him again tonight to throw a lot of strikes. That'll be important.
11 innings, he has just 2 walks and a dozen strikeouts. Well, he had 3 more hits last night, hitting at a .421 clip over his last 9 games. A great defensive play, robbing Chris Carter of a home run last night. Of course, we're talking about Starling Marte. See if we can join the Marte Parte coming up, the Bucks and the Brewers from PNC Park.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit bordaslaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Just another spectacular night for baseball here in Pittsburgh as the Pirates and Brewers meet in the middle game of this 3-game series. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. And folks, after the ceremonies yesterday throughout Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson Day, where number 42 retired throughout both leagues. Pirate fans hoping that baseball will consider doing the same for number 21. There's the Pirate center fielder number 22. They are getting ready and hoping to end a 4-game losing streak. Pirates really have not played all that well since getting off to the strong start. I'm going to try and put it all together. Good to see David Freese get involved. J.A. and McCutcheon like that.
You know, Greg, I don't understand how they can come up with new stuff every game.
Yeah, it's effort.
New steps, new dances.
Doesn't just happen, you
yeah.
know, like happenstance. Come on. A lot of work into it. Starling Marte talk about working for another Gold Glove. Not only did he make a great catch, robbing Chris Carter of a home run, he also held a runner at third base just by reputation and by strong hustle. Base hit to left field. And of course, in addition to all that, he added 3 more hits to his season total. We check out the Honda starting lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers. They're managed by Craig Counsell, and they are now 5-5 on the young season. Domingo Santana followed by Jonathan Dr. Ryan Braun hit a pair of 2-run homers last night. 23rd career multi-homer game for Ryan Braun. Jonathan Lucroy hits cleanup. Then it's Chris Carter and veteran Aaron Hill. Scooter Gennett at second. Ramon Flores in center. And the pitcher is Taylor Youngman.
Take a look at Jonathan Neese's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. And you're going to see a little bit of a high ERA. Well, a higher ERA, but Greg, I just think he's pitched much better than that in his first 2 starts. And you look at not very many walks, just a couple of them, the 12 strikeouts that you mentioned earlier. And I think that he's going to be a fine addition this year and really fit into the starting rotation and add that really stability that we're kind of looking for right now.
29-year-old John Neese will have this Honda defense behind him. John Jaso has been playing a solid first base. Josh Harrison joins him on the right side. David Freese, Jordy Mercer on the left side of the Pirates infield. Marte, McCutcheon, Polanco left to right, and Francisco Cervelli catches John Neese. Plenty of Cervelli fans on hand.
There are a lot of Cervelli fans. They are everywhere. Thought it was going to be very tough for a catcher to come in here and follow in Russell Martin's footsteps, as popular as he was, but Cervelli really accomplishing that rather easy.
Domingo Santana takes a strike from John Neese, and underway. 71 degrees, picture perfect. Home plate umpire James Hoy calls it low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Neese faced the Milwaukee Brewers last year as a member of the Mets. This is 9th career start. 2-1, 4.50 career ERA against the Brewers as a member of the Mets. Santana 1 for 5 with an RBI single in last night's game that got him Whacked it off his foot. Now there's James Hoy calling the balls and strikes. Chad Fairchild at first base. Over at second is the crew chief, Jim Joyce. And Marvin Hudson is at third. Well, that was like it was staged, right? The way he turned around, just it's pretty good. Jim Joyce.
Bell told him to turn around.
Yeah. And he struck him out looking. One up and one down.
Beautiful fastball. Neese has had good control, but he's also seems to get himself in a rhythm very quickly in a ball game. You know, some guys kind of take a while to get on a little bit of a roll, but you know, right there, very first hitter, he's just downstairs with that fastball, right where he wanted it.
Ray Searage was away for personal reasons last night. The Pirates pitching coach back in the dugout, and bounced towards short. Easy for Mercer to take care of Jonathan Villar. Rivers Casino tips to win.
Throw strikes. I mean, this is right out of yesterday. We have to throw more strikes. Can't have all those base home balls. I mean, that was a tough thing to go through, I think, in last night's game. And obviously, speaking of the guy that's stepping in there right now, we've got to keep the ball in the yard. He did all the damage with those home runs. You know, a lot of clubs, you know, you try to identify one guy. Okay, this is a guy you don't want to beat you. I think it's pretty easy now with the Brewers. You know, there's not a lot of everyday names, especially with a lot of power in that lineup. And Braun's still that guy, still there in that uniform. Gone through a lot of changes.
Braun now with 29 career home runs against the Pirates, most by any player in Brewers team history. Braun, a .313 career hitter against Neese.
He's trying to run that cutter in on him.
Full count.
Might have caught a break on that one. A little inside.
And bounce toward Freeze. Freeze to Jaso. Neese has a 1-2-3 top of the first. On a fireworks night, the Bucks will come to bat against the Brew Crew. First inning. Fireworks night tonight. And Kids Sunday tomorrow. The Pirates will then be on the road for 10 games. RAV4 starting Pirates lineup. John Jaso has a 6-game hitting streak. He'll be leading off, followed by Andrew McCutchen and David Freese. Starling Marte hits cleanup. Francisco Cervelli follows. Gregory Polanco 1 for 4 in last night's game. Then Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and John Neese. Taylor Youngman.
Youngman's numbers don't look all that good because he really got beat up in his second start of the season, giving up 8 earned runs. Opponent batting average almost up by 400. It was ugly early for him, but he gave us some fits last year.
Made his major league debut here June the 9th in a 4-1 victory. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. First pitch swinging, and Jaso is going to be retired. 1 pitch, 1 out. So Youngman, the 26-year-old from Temple, Texas, is 6'6", 210 pounds. Drafted in the first round in 2011 by the Brewers out of the University of Texas. And that beat up his last time out Monday against the Cardinals in St. Louis.
He's pretty much a 2-pitch guy. Mixing a changeup every now and then, but fastball, curveball. Despite the fact that he is so big, he's really not a hard thrower. Just an average velocity for nowadays, up around 90.
(3-0) in 4 starts last season against Pittsburgh. McCutchen was 1 out of 4 in last night's ball game. Batting average at .256. Two and 1. To center field. Flores. 2 outs. Youngman gets a ground out and a fly out. It sounds like we're making excuses for him. We're not, but it does seem this last week and a half he has come so close to hitting the ball such a long way away. And just misses again.
Yeah, Greg, I'm still not used to him hitting second this first inning. But when he does make the out, I'm always like,
I'm not going to commercial.
Yeah. Was that with you opening day, or was with Joe?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the
You're all out of sorts.
Whole first inning. I didn't know how many outs there were.
Yeah,
because he hit second. I was all messed up. Just missing them, getting under a lot of very, very high fly balls, as you said, just not being able to quite get out there and get to them, to get those high fly balls and get over the fence. But you got to believe that must be just a very fine line, fine adjustment. That Cut's really a student of hitting. He'll figure it out.
It's a fair ball. Third baseman Hill on to Carter, and 1-2-3 go the Pirates. Nothing after 1. Tonight's Allegheny Health Network injury update. There is Francisco Liriano. He was scratched from his last start, discomfort in his right hamstring. Today, able to go through normal between-start bullpen session. Afterward, reported feeling good and claims he is ready to make his next start in San Diego. The Pirates being very cautious and smart about it. Don't want it to lead to a long-term injury, so it's like just the one start miss and back on track.
I had some problems with my hamstrings, but it was never my plant leg. It was always my push leg. So I'm not really sure how that would feel, and can you live with that a little bit if you're getting some tightness in there or not. I know when it's the leg that you're pushing off on, it makes it really tough.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off the second inning with a base hit to right off John Neese.
Ball inside. Hit it through the hole over there. Kind of surprised that Lucroy is still a Brewer. I mean, he was all over the hot stove league news all winter long where he might end up.
Seemed almost a certainty he would go somewhere. See if this goes 6-4-3. It does. That's Mercer, Harrison, Jaso combining on the twin killing. Chris Carter, the batter, no longer.
Really, it does seem to be in a rhythm early with that low fastball. That was one of them there, and you get that right-hand hitter to pull that ball. A lot of times it's ground ball to third, ground ball to short. Especially if it's out there a little bit, kind of away. They'll roll their hands over.
Barrel league leaders updated after that DP. The Pirates with 17, most in the National League. Two balls and a strike. And that should be Neese's game. Ground balls. Didn't miss by a lot, but
no, that's that pitch too. You want that right-hander to try and pull. Fastball just right on the outside corner. You see how he can make just a little bit of an adjustment, Greg? And he just barely missed on that pitch before, so now he brings it into the strike zone just a little. Yeah, some guys that when they have to throw a strike, they bring it in down the middle. He just moved it a couple
just to
more
get it to
inches
the edge,
and a nice pitch.
And walked him on a pitch that was down below the zone. Walks Aaron Hill on a 3-2 pitch. Only the third walk that Neese has allowed in 12 2/3 innings. To go along with 13 strikeouts. Scooter Gennett 0 for 2 with a run scored last night. Also walked 3 times. For John Neese, 29 years old, Lima, Ohio native. Went to Defiance High School in Ohio, still lives there. Acquired from the New York Mets in December for Neil Walker. A veteran left-hander whose big league career started back in 2008 with the Mets, and it's 0-2 on Gennett. And did not get a call.
Oh, he's giving a little look in there too, like, where's that pitch?
Sticks his hand out. Come on, where do you want it? It was right there. Perfect pitch. is almost right. The exact same spot. But you're talking about, Bob, how good Nice is looking right now.
Yep.
Don't miss the latest edition of In the Room Tuesday before the Penguins Game 3 against the Rangers. Join the guys as they get fitted for new suits. Hear Patrick Hornquist mic'd up against the Capitals and much more. In the Room Tuesday at 5:30 on Root Sports. Looks like a lot of fans might have made it a doubleheader attending the game at Consol. The Rangers winning Game 2 to even the series. Pit practice today at Heinz Field, so really a triple header day of sorts in the Berg. Sterling Marte hitting .348. Yes, he did. 1-2. Look at that hit.
I don't know, but I wish Starlin would wear one of those guards on his back of his left hand. I hate the fact that because he never moves.
I mean, it sounds like it cracked something, you know?
Yeah, that one
sounded like the bat. Wow.
Hit his right hand.
That didn't sound good. Man.
He gets hit so much up there.
Boy.
He must have some strong hands.
Yeah, he must.
Hand will feel a lot better when he's standing on second, won't it?
Yes. Did he put the mitt on the hand?
There it goes.
So Bob, what's the over/under on pitches he takes off for second? 2 is the line.
Well, we got to set it at 2.5.
All right. Is it over/under?
I'm going under.
Okay.
So that means he's going on the next pitch.
All right.
All right, get off there. Get a lead. Come on now. No more talking. Get ready to go. Get ready. On your toes. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Come on.
Yeah, they thought the same.
They know. They know the line.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's not a secret.
They know it's 2.5. Lucroy knows this. He can get a little moisture on his fingers. He knows he's got to make a throw here.
Breaking ball and a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Oh, well, I'll just have to double up next time. Well, that would have been a great pitch to run on, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Big, slow curveball. The sinker, two-seam fastball grip.
As a rookie, opponent swiped 18 bases last year. 6 were caught. Wow. Cervelli doesn't agree with the call.
That was a breaking ball that it kind of looked like it stayed inside, but the umpire has the final say.
It was inside.
Lucroy did a nice job of catching that ball close into his body. When that curveball is coming toward the strike zone, if you don't reach out and catch it, you let it travel as far as you can, catch it close to your body. That gives it time to keep moving toward the strike zone and look like it's even closer than it is. Now, if that ball is moving, starting to move away from the strike zone, then you want a little extension with that glove. Get out there and try to catch it a little earlier. Don't let it travel as far.
Gregory Polanco. Polanco 1 out of 4 last night. See that delivery Clint Hurdle last year after Youngman gave the Pirates fits, so that crossfire in his delivery created some deception. And he went 3-0 in 4 starts against Pittsburgh with an ERA of 2.42.
Kind of looks like his fastball's got a little cut action to it, which would kind of move it in toward a left-hand hitter.
Marte 3 for 3 in the stolen base department. Youngman went 9-8 in 21 starts overall last year for the Brewers with a 3.77 ERA. Really struggled his last 6 starts. And there goes Marte. Pitches up. Lucroy's throw. Not going to get him.
Good throw would have probably had him. As the play was unfolding, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be close. But VR, as he has to field the ball with the glove now moving up as he makes the catch, now has to stop the glove and make it go back down for a tag, and that just took too long.
Marte, his 4th steal of the young season. Polanco.
The party moves to second. I like the design on his sleeve. Looks like the point. The Three Rivers.
That's it.
Doesn't it?
That's the reason why.
Yeah.
It was designed just for that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be watching now. See if anyone else has that.
Okay. Let's just hope there's nothing more to that.
He's fine.
Yeah.
The oven mitt they use has special copper threads in it that helps heal anything that's.
Oh, really?
Wrong.
I didn't know
By
that.
the time he gets off the base,
Oh,
he's
geez.
fine.
It's a well-kept secret. Everybody should have that, you know?
It's the same technology that you use in those ropes that they used to wear.
Yeah. They don't wear those much anymore, do they?
No.
Polanco went 1 for 7 against Youngman last season, and the Brewers have done a good job against him since he came into the league. 188 average lifetime versus Milwaukee, and Youngman, that slow breaking ball, gets another strikeout.
Yeah, it's the lack of speed that it's not necessarily the break, although his curveball does have a rather large break to it, but it's so slow that that's what fools the hitters, and they're way out front. The bat comes through before the ball gets there.
Here's Craig Counsell. Replaced Ron Renicky last year. Wisconsin native, former Brewer. Hit hard, one hopper to the shortstop VR, and he throws out Harrison. Well, the leadoff hit batter, Marte stole second. He's stranded. It's 0-0 after 2.
PNC Park after 2 innings. We have a scoreless game. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, Greg Brown a second ago mentioned the busy day we had in sports with the Penguins just finishing. Pirates playing tonight, and Pitt's inter-squad scrimmage going on today. There was an event that started at 7:30 this morning, and that was the Pirates holding their annual home run 5K presented by Highmark and Allegheny Health Network. This year, they added the 10K route for runners who wanted a little bit more. Started on Federal Street, ended inside the ballpark. Over 5,000 participants, all ages and abilities took part. And the top finishers from each category were recognized in a pregame ceremony on the field. The event benefits Pirates charities, and our own Tyler Graham was one of those runners, along with Mark Tompkins, Mike Welsh, and Garrett Wiley, all from Root Sports. And guess what, Greg? The slowest runner of the whole group was Tyler Graham, no doubt. I checked the times.
No, that's not. No, come on. That's
By
not
far
right.
the
That's not
slowest.
fair. That you know, he
close.
probably finished in the top 10 of all runners, let alone the Root Sports runners. We know Tyler Graham. Tyler's got that baby, right?
That's like training. You're running constantly.
Yeah, so that probably helps, right? Young Caden has probably helped Tyler with his times.
I got to believe that Tyler is by far the fastest in all of Root Sports.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Are you including Toma in that?
You mean Pete, dead last homer?
Oh. It was quite a birthday party Susie put on for her husband. There's a great play by David Freese.
Oh,
they got him. Freese over by the shortstop position. Flashing some leather.
Been a couple of nice plays in the infield. Turned that double play early on for Nice, and now taking a base hit away.
David Freese. Outstanding play to retire Ramon Flores. Broken bat. A little easier for Freese. Youngman gets down that line. Not conceding anything, but he's retired. 2 outs.
I was kind of holding my breath there. It's like, okay, now catch the easy one. That happens every now and then.
Getting some ground ball outs is John Neese. Back to the top of the order. Struck out Domingo Santana looking to start this game. And the base hit. And that's going to shoot the gap. Santana at the second base with a 2-out double.
Absolutely right in between them. And that was the gap that was a little bit bigger than the one in right field, because you could see that McCutchen was just a little bit kind of shading over toward right field. You can see that Cutchen, the back of that shot, starting to move over. And it'll play basically the same in the same place with VR. Look at Polanco, how much green there is behind him, and that's the short fence in right field, so he is way in. Pirate outfielders are trying to play well, they're not trying to, they are playing shallower this year.
Rick Sofield is the outfield instructor. VR, switch hitter batting right-handed, bounced to shortstop Jordy Mercer in the first inning. VR set the table twice for Ryan Braun last night. 2-out double in the 6th inning against Kyle Lobstein preceded Braun's first homer. And then with 2 outs, he singled against Neftali Feliz. And Braun stepped to the plate in the 8th inning and hit his second homer of the game. Jeff Locke started and was wild. 7 walks in 4 2/3 innings. One of those was intentional, and Ryan Braun, 257th and 58th career homers. And if Neese doesn't throw a strike here, Braun's going to come to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs. He does throw a strike. Mercer over. Well done, John Neese. 2-out double doesn't hurt. 0-0 through 2.5. Stay tuned after the game for new Inside Pirates Baseball. Find out the one feat Andrew McCutchen has yet to accomplish as a Bucco. Follow Jordy Mercer around the field for a mic'd up session and much more Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. UPMC scoreboard, 0-0 to the bottom of the third, and it is Jordy Mercer to lead things off. Hitless in 4 trips last night and just 1 hit in his last dozen at bats. Line to the shortstop. DR makes the play, and Mercer retired to start this bottom of the third inning. Taylor Youngman, those struggles toward the end of last season. As spring training approached, he admitted that that year led to a general fatigue more than he had let on. And he started this season struggling his first 2 outings. Against the Giants 10 days ago, lasted 5 innings. Gave up a couple of runs, 1 earned, and last time out 8 runs in 2 innings against the Cardinals.
Now, Greg, watching these hits so far, it looks like he takes it pretty seriously. You got to like that. Nice addition to the starting rotation in that way. Something we used to not have very much of. That
really does look like he absolutely pays attention to it. It's just not a giveaway at bat.
That's what you can. That's what you ask for, I think, from a pitcher. Is just go up there and work on it and try. A few years ago, you really didn't see that from everybody in the rotation, that they just kind of give the at bat away.
And from our angle, it's almost comical, but from up here, when he gets into his batting stance and wearing number 18, it looks like a guy who's almost trying to impersonate Walker's stance.
Or Andy Van Slyke.
Yeah, that's right.
Showing my age.
18.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Garrett Cole takes it seriously. Well, the Bucks and PNC Bank have teamed up to offer Pirates fans a special deal. Save $5 on select Sunday through Thursday tickets. Plus get $5 in loaded value, good for concessions and merchandise here at PNC Park. All you have to do is use your PNC Pirates Affinity card to purchase tickets. Get more details at pirates.com/piratescard. John Jaso swung at the first pitch in the bottom of the first inning and bounced out to first baseman Chris Carter. 6-game hitting streak for Jaso. Ball 1.
So far, Jaso's been everything I think the Pirates hoped for. As a leadoff hitter, being able to get on base, the on-base percentage way up there, and also as a first baseman. Made a lot of progress in that regard. So far, so good.
Ball 3.
And his style of hitting, you don't know if you can really say something, kind of rubs off on the other guys or not, but his patience up there has really become kind of a hallmark of the whole team, at least in most games.
That's what he's done the last 5 games. And despite the shift, he grounds it between the shortstop, VR,
but because of the shift,
and the third baseman, Hill.
That was more a base hit because they were in a shift.
Puts runners at first and second with 1 out.
Nobody home over there. Only one guy on the left side. If you're playing normal double play positioning, that's double play ball.
The shift doesn't work.
Now we've seen it work sometimes. It's not infallible.
And now McCutchen with 2 on and 1 out. They fly to center field in the first.
And they put a rather severe shift on McCutchen. 3 guys on the left side.
And over anxious.
Slow curveball, that lack of speed again.
Ball, 1 strike. Two on McCutchen.
You can really see the cut action on the fastball on that pitch. So the ball looks like it kind of moves a little bit to the left. Of course, that could be the fact that he does, step a little bit toward that side before he throws the ball.
And he gets under that one and going to foul it out of play.
Foul. Another one of those balls, though, it's like he just gets a little underneath it. Go to the well a little too often with touching that curveball.
It will remain 2-2. Catching a couple of RBIs this season, 1 for 10 with men in scoring position. He has Neese at second. John Jaso, base hit, is at first.
I like the fact that Kutch fouled that fastball off the right side. He's right on time for a little hanging curveball. Make a mistake with that hook. Leave it up just a little bit. Didn't leave it up.
2 outs.
That really surprises me, even though that was a pretty good pitch location-wise. The fact that it was a no contact, didn't get a piece of it, didn't foul it off. The reason it surprises me is because of the way he swung at that fastball. I really thought that he was going to be right on time for the hook, but still, as you could tell by the replay, the bat went through first before the ball got there.
David Freese bounced out his first time up.
That's the one I was hoping for. About mid-thigh, inside part of the plate.
Backhand pick by Lucroy. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Veteran catcher Jonathan Lucroy, now 29 years old, and battery mate 26-year-old Taylor Youngman. One and two. Toward right, and right at Domingo Santana. Buccos strand a couple. It is 0-0. Fourth inning, David Freese lined out to right. He has already made an impact tonight on a strong defensive play in our Point Park University tweets. David Freese is so smooth on D. Freese showing the D to get the first out. Love the glove. Okay, Freese with a flashy play. Scoreboard crew was playing 10th Avenue Freeze out after the play. Maybe Forbes Avenue Freeze out.
Well, he hit that last ball rather well to right field. Just location wasn't good.
Somebody behind there? Shy just like Bob, aren't you?
Yep. The sun's in his eyes. That was taken earlier.
Ball one on Ryan Braun. Braun bounced down on a 3-2 pitch in the first, and in the air to right, Polanco. Takes care of Braun. Bonds and the Jedi Master.
Number 19. I'm trying to.
What
would have
pirate
been 19 when
would be a
Bonds was
Jedi
there?
Master?
Well, I'm trying to think who was in the Bonds era that wore 19.
Reedus? Gary Reedus?
I was going to say that was going to be my guess, Reedus. And he was kind of a Jedi Master.
Wally Backman?
The master of the nickname is Reedus.
Curtis Wilkerson. These are all 19s now. All fitting, isn't it? No? Yeah. And Bill Verdon took his number in 1993. 19.
Hello, I'm a Jedi Master.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. That's what he was saying there. I read his lips. Oh,
nice to meet you. Terry sneaking up. You can't get away with it. Terry's going to be there. Now Terry's the Jedi Master. He should be wearing that jersey.
Well, you got to know if you got Jedi Master on your back, you're going to get on camera.
Yeah. Two outs. 8 ground ball outs for John Neese. Now what's Terry saying?
He's getting the story behind the Jedi Master.
Yeah. Report it back to the truck.
Yeah.
Chris Carter.
The Jedi Master has given us his reasoning for the 19.
His lucky number is 19.
Yeah. Do you really need
luck? Any number.
If you're a Jedi Master, you make your own luck, right?
That's right.
Your luck's daddy.
Line to left deep, but Marte there.
The Jedi Master on the outfield.
It's time for the Toyota RAV 4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Still scoreless going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Taylor Youngman faces Starling Marte, and a line drive toward the line in left field. That gets down. This will be a couple for Marte. He's been hit by a pitch and doubled. 3 hits last night.
Greg, remember when we were talking last night about how well Marte is hitting mistake pitches right now? When he gets something that's not in the best spot. I mean, look at this hanging curveball. This is what we're talking about. He has not been missing those. And that really a lot of times is a sign of a hot hitter taking advantage of mistakes the pitcher is making. That little get me over curveball, it hangs belt high right in the middle of the inside half of the plate, and he bangs it down the corner for a double. You're swinging good. You're not missing those. You're making them hurt. Making the mistakes hurt when the pitcher tries to just get ahead with a pitch that's off speed and really kind of basically in the middle of the plate. Now, Greg, when Marte does the head first slide, should he lead with the oven mitt or the other hand? Because when he went in the second earlier,
what did he do?
He went with the batting glove. Yeah, he didn't leave with the oven mitt. Wouldn't you think he would go with the oven mitt?
You'd think so.
More protection?
Yeah.
Could be because that right hand is hurting. Didn't want to get it in there.
It's possible.
He's been doing a lot of talking on the bases. I think he's trying to lull them into a sense of security. Like that, don't mind me, I'm not going anywhere, just talking out here.
Cervelli shows bunt. The third baseman Hill was already in toward the edge of the grass.
Well, it puts the third baseman in a tough position. He can't really just take off because it's a showing bunt. Not with Marte, just off to his left a little ways.
Bad looking swing and a miss there, 1-1.
I think he was just kind of trying to place the ball the other direction. Certainly not the normal swing you see out of Cervelli. No, he didn't go. That'd have been my call.
You've been right.
You ever think, Greg, what kind of an umpire you'd be?
No, but I think about what kind of an umpire you would be.
Oh, I've thought about that.
Yeah, I think about that probably more than I should.
So I always thought it would be a lot of fun to be an umpire. At least once or twice.
Not for a whole year.
I don't know. I think it's a little tougher job than it looks.
That certainly gets Marte to third. Jeanette is not going to get Cervelli. Infield single.
Well, Cervelli really committed to hitting that ball the other way. Got that accomplished, and I think the base hit just ended up being a little bonus in his mind.
Marte, good umpire, safe.
Yep, twice, safe twice.
Well, here's Gregory Polanco. There's the middle infield set at double play depth. Third baseman Hill not even with the bag. See the alignment. Polanco with 5 runs batted in.
Mr. Patience this year. I think maybe he's watched Jaso more than anybody else.
Tapper toward first. Carter looking at home, decides just to tag Polanco. The Pirates will take a 1-0 lead. RBI for Polanco as Marte scores and Cervelli goes to second.
Well, it was a positive of an out as you can make. Get the run home in and move Cervelli in the scoring position. Kind of almost the way it played out was like a safety squeeze. Like he squared around to bunt it, knowing he's got that great speed at third. Just get it down slowly in the infield somewhere, and you're going to score the runner and move Cervelli.
Chance for Harrison to bring home Cervelli with 1 out. Deep to right, sending Santana back. Can't make the play. In comes Cervelli. There goes J-Hay with a triple, and a 2-0 Pirates lead.
One of those situations, Greg, where I think you're not really sure about the, you're in a visiting ballpark, and I don't think he realized where he was. Now, we've talked about that fence not being all that far back there. If he would have just got back to the fence and turned around, the ball didn't hit very high, but because he really is not sure where the fence is, he's just drifting, and couldn't make the play. And there goes J-Hay. Anybody have more fun running bases than Harrison? Nobody.
His first triple. Infield in all the way around with Mercer at the plate. Pitching coach Derek Johnson paid Youngman a visit. I do wonder how many players take the time before ball games, before a series, to really go out there and study things like that. I don't know. Maybe he did.
Some guys do, some guys don't.
But it seems to happen maybe more than it should.
All your really good outfielders, and it's even like your veteran guys. I can remember when I very first came into the league. Gary Maddox had been around probably 10 years already. Gold glove, great defensive center fielder. And every time we went to a new stadium, you would see him during batting practice. He'd be out there in the grass looking for, where a sprinkler head might be covered up or something. I mean, he knew everything about everything that was out there. And the reason I remember that was on the bucket one time with Dallas Green, our manager. And he was pointing that out. He goes, watch Maddox out in center field. And you can see him going and looking all the different places. So the really good ones, I mean, they definitely do that.
Oh, Mercer drives one deep to left field. It's a long sacrifice fly.
Two balls he's hit right on the money. And
3-0.
no hits, but gets an RBI on that nice deep sac fly.
Double, infield single, RBI triple, sacrifice fly, 3-0. Sixth RBI for Mercer. Marte leads the club with 8. And then it is Cervelli, Polanco, and Mercer with 6. And here's John Neese. Another guy, remember, Bob, who used to do that was Juan Pierre. An outstanding defensive outfielder, but he would come out and he would map out every part of the baseball diamond, so he was ready for each series.
It's probably more important now than ever. If you go back a couple of decades, so many of the ballparks are those cookie cutter type parks, and there wasn't much difference, to be honest with you. But now, with all the new ballparks that have been built in the last 20 years, every one of them has the little nuances in those outfield fences. And PNC is right along with the rest of them. All kinds of the way the corners are, the left field corner, the angle of the wall, the deep corner out there where the bullpen gate is.
3-1. Could he walk Neese for a second straight time? Different parks have longer tracks than others,
yep,
wider tracks.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Neese lines it to left field. Braun is there. Pirates score 3 times. A lot of action in the bottom of the 4th. So King Felix gets the win. The Yankees have lost 4 in a row. Josh Harrison, part of that action in the bottom of the 4th inning. That triple off the wall and right. Or Starling Marte swinging a hot bat. Started it all with a double to left off Taylor Youngman.
And that little ball that Polanco hit out in the infield had a big part of that inning.
Aaron Hill, base hit to start the 5th. Point Park University tweets. Starling Marte, ladies and gents, guy is something special. Boy, that he is. Jay Hay, the man, is the easiest player to like in baseball. I love watching Jay Hay run around the bases. The dude hustles like no other. Hashtag Pirates. Get your tweets, your comments in. Hashtag Bucks Booth.
Plays the game like it's supposed to be played, doesn't he? Always got the motor running.
All out. Relentless.
Nothing more fun than watching him hit a triple is watching him get picked off.
Yeah.
See if they can tag him.
Nice play.
Yeah. Knocked it down, kept it in front. Ball's a rocket. Kind of used the stool in her favor there. Got that involved.
Well done, Matty, over there. On the right field side. Scooter Gennett struck out looking in the second. One count. Scoreboard has 3-2, but it's 3-1 on Gennett. And first and second. First walk for Nice. Tomorrow, first Kids Day of the season. Bucks battle the Brewers 135. All kids get one of these. Josh Harrison Gnomes, if you're 14 and under, you'll take one home with you. Compliments of Trib Total Media. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Josh Harrison Gnomes to all kids 14 and younger. Compliments of Trib Total Media. Checking out baseball cards there. That outfit.
Nice dress.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ramon Flores. Nice gets out in front. 1-2. Nice walks his second batter of the game. Gives up the leadoff hit. The third hit of the game for the Brewers.
Ton of ground balls so far. That's been, I think, his best weapon. Another one.
And a nice stab. Mercer throws the third. What a play that was. That is a heck of a play by Jordy Mercer.
You know,
Freeze on the bag.
Earlier, Greg, I was talking about Nice, his ERA a little higher because there were some situations where some plays could have been made that weren't. Well, that's not the case tonight. They're making all the plays back there behind him. And none better than that. When you get that force out at third, Freeze getting back to the bag, finding the bag, getting his foot on there so that you can get that force out. Only place Mercer could go with the ball.
As someone would say, put a circle around that one.
He's next door.
Oh.
Is he eating over there?
Hope so. Youngman fouls the pitch off, trying to bunt the runners 90 feet.
When Steve makes his circle on his card, does he do it with the red or the black?
I'm guessing the red. I'll have to ask him that. 1 ball, 1 strike. There they are. One fouled off, 1 and 2.
Steve always has the pencil with the red end and the block. He's always had it forever. It's what he's always used to keep his scorecard.
And your color, what? Just regular?
Just regular. Whatever.
Number 2 lead
what
pencil.
What do you call that? Gray? Is that what pencil?
I guess so.
I do my. I got some red ink here in case I need to really highlight something.
Highlight the strikeout. How do you do that? He just struck out. Now, can we see how you mark that on your scorecard?
If it's looking like that,
yeah.
It's swinging. I put K and then I make like a little bat with like a little motion that it's like you can see that it was a swinging strikeout. See? That's how I do it, Greg. If it's a looking strike, I put the K backwards. And there, see, you can see that it's see the little eyeballs? He struck out looking. It's my own code.
That's going to be a gigantic scorecard.
Well, this is just one hitter right here.
Yeah, I see. I'm saying
every hitter,
gigantic scorecard.
every at bat gets his own page. I have a book at the end of the night.
And here it is. Well, ball gets away. And it's 2nd and 3rd. Following the strikeout of Youngman. Wild pitch. Moves Jeanette and Flores.
Well, that's the pen you need, Greg, right there.
Yep.
I'm going to get you one of those.
Thank you, Bob. A little late. 2 and 2 the count. So really going to chat.
Look at that, all the different colors and stuff. What do you think that pen has? 4 different colors?
I'm guessing.
I think Robbie uses one of those pens.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Sawed him off. Freeze there. John Neese blanking the Brewers. Gives up a leadoff hit and a walk. Gets the next 3 men. 10 ground ball outs for Neese. 3-0 Pirates. UPMC scoreboard. Go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. A 3-0 Pirates lead. Good crowd on hand as John Jaso, 1 for 2, steps in, leading off against Taylor Youngman. And grounds to the second baseman, Jeanette.
Let's see how Kutch handles the curveballs this at bat. It's always interesting to get that third time through the lineup. Your pitcher might be starting to get a little more fatigued than was earlier in the ball game. And usually one of them's been winning the battle, the pitcher or the hitter. Who's gonna have the most confidence at this point of the game? Who's gonna make some adjustments?
Deep to left field. Ryan Braun is back. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. There's his first of the season. Andrew McCutchen makes it 4-0.
There it was. That was the swing on the curveball that they've been looking for. Look at it.
That's just McCutchen saying, finally, missing all those balls we were talking about over the past week and a half. You talked about, Bob, how close that is.
Yeah, just from getting up underneath it, just skying it fairly deep, but way up in the air. It's just such a fine line. But I was really anxious to see Youngman throw him that curveball for a strike. They've been having a lot of success with it, and you know that against somebody like Kutch, that's not going to continue. That you're going to go to that well once too many times, and he's going to burn you. Everything timed perfectly on that curveball. No more being out in front of it.
Okay, now I got that one, and that has got to go.
He had a couple about 415 to center field in Detroit that did not go out in that big ballpark.
You could read lips. I think we saw him approach second base just now. You saw him say, "About time." Allegheny Health Network Supermo. What a great shot to follow that all the way in and the swing. Is that a thing of beauty? There it is.
Well, we've seen in the past when Kutch gets hot, he can hit about 400 for a month. Getting that first home run, that might make him take off.
1-1 on Marte. Tweets already coming in on that long ball. Dad, let's watch McCutchen hit the ball out of the ballpark. Next pitch, home run, Andrew McCutchen. Good job, Luke. Cleared the deck. Cutch knows baseball. Captain Cutch bomb. Two and two on Marte. Chased. Fifth strikeout for Taylor Youngman. But Andrew McCutchen with one out gives the Pirates a 4-0 lead as he hits his first home run of the season and looks to the skies. There it is.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Check out barreltires.com and never overpay for tires again. Let's go Bucks!
Andrew McCutchen, his first home run of the season. The Pirates take a 4-0 lead. On to the 6th inning. Batter Jonathan Villar. Foul called by James Hoy. As Villar tried to bunt for a hit. So McCutchen, first 2 times up against Taylor Youngman, fly to center, then struck out but did not miss that breaking ball in his 3rd at bat. His crew liked it. Try and push a bunt. Strike 2.
Kind of questioning the umpire there. How good do you really see the ball when you're doing all that moving around? Can you really question the pitch?
Toward Polanco. John Neese. It's the fly ball out. Taylor Youngman so far has allowed the 4 runs on 5 hits. Ryan Braun to the plate.
This is usual. Welcome. He me ask Joe if Braun gets this every place he goes. Certainly gets it here.
Seems to thrive on it.
Doesn't bother him.
No,
apparently.
A 5-year, $105 million contract extension that was signed in April of 2011, kicking in this year for Braun, who's in his 10th season with the Brewers. Deep short, Mercer on the move in the dirt, and look at the smooth pick by Jaso.
Smile on Jason. You know, besides the fact that play, but just think how happy he is to be on the field and playing a position. Not having to be sitting in the bench waiting for his next at bat. I mean, that's all the reason really why he's here. He wanted to be a baseball player again. Had some problems with concussions, couldn't catch anymore. And yeah, that was a heck of a play by Mercer. Great throw. Sometimes I don't know how Mercer, when he throws off balance like that, he gets so much velocity on his throws.
When you consider how far he's going on the move, the accuracy, pretty impressive. Mercer to Jaso. Oh, 2 on Lucroy. Has one of the 3 hits. Is starting to get the defense that he had maybe not been getting the first 2 times he went to the mound this season. In fact, when he came over to the Pirates, he raised some eyebrows in New York talking about the defense the Pirates play and how he was looking forward to pitching under the watchful eye of Ray Searage. There's Freeze. 1, 2, 3 with a sparkling defensive play in the middle. Great shots from our Allegheny Health Network Supermo, and a 4-0 Pirates lead. And to the bottom of the 6th inning. Andrew McCutchen hitting the home run. You might have seen the game April the 6th. The Pirates were hosting the Cardinals, and Robbie Itzmakowski went down and interviewed Elizabeth there with the sign. She actually, before the game, went down to the seats by the Pirates dugout and handed Andrew McCutchen a bouquet of flowers. And Robbie went down there and talked to her. This is April the 6th. Graciously thanks Elizabeth. Goes down, puts him in water, and she said she was going to bring him good luck tonight, and she has. She's back to root on Andrew McCutchen, and he hit a home run tonight as the Pirates lead 4-0.
Flower power. This game's been pretty pleasing so far for, I think, everybody, all the fans, the players themselves. Got some excellent pitching by Neese. The defense has been very good. A lot of great defensive plays made tonight. You're getting runs on the board, and the long ball from McCutchen. Everybody, including Kutch himself, been waiting for that one. Great weather tonight. I feel like we're already in San Diego.
Yeah. That's where the Pirates are heading next week. So just one more game for you to catch on this homestand. That is the Kids Sunday tomorrow afternoon. The Pirates are away for 10 games. The upcoming road trip, 11 days. They don't return until the end of the month, Friday the 29th. Take on the Reds, and then the Cubs make their first visit. These Cubs won again today. Jake Arrieta is 3-0 at 8 scoreless. They're off to their best start since 1969 at 9-2. Beat the Rockies. Reds beat the Cardinals 9-8. Line to left for Cervelli. That's his second hit. Show your university pride. Attend your school's university night. Purchase tickets online, and you can join fellow alum of your university for a night here at PNC Park. Plus, you'll get a Pirates cap in your university colors. To get your cap and purchase tickets, go to pirates.com/university nights. Excellent crowd on hand tonight, the middle game of this series. Gregory Polanco has struck out and grounded out. That ground out brought in the Pirates' first run of the game in the 4th inning.
Didn't go very far, just a little chopper up the line, but it played its part.
Ball and 1 strike. Youngman approaches 90 pitches. Pirates trying to hand him his second loss and as many decisions. Right-hander Carlos Torres up in the bullpen. Jimmy Nelson, good ball game last night. Look what I found.
Nothing you can do about that. When that fastball hits out there, which I don't understand how it did. Like, how can you throw a fastball that almost hit the grass? But it happened. And Lucroy just hopes he catches it. Hopes he can knock it down somehow.
lob toss over to Carter. Count even on Gregory Polanco. Got a nice play here. Oh, how about that? With the guy behind him.
Fun at the ballpark.
Polanco just a couple of hits in his last 19 at bats. Yeah. Having some pictures. John Jaso with head trainer Todd Tomczyk. Runner goes, line foul. Cervelli took off on the 3-2 pitch. And Polanco lines it foul down the right field side.
Well, Polanco's been a little pull happy tonight, don't you think?
Yes.
Out in front of even the fastballs. You know, that last pitch there was something slow right in the middle of the plate, even though it was maybe a little above the knees, but just too quick on it.
Again, Cervelli, and home plate umpire says that he offered. This is going to be a strike him out, throw him out double play. James Hoy said Polanco offered at the pitch and a double play.
Well, Cervelli came to I mean, he's not getting a big jump anyway, but Cervelli can, I'm sure, looking over his shoulder, thinking that was ball 4. There you see him watch. Now he's looking in, pointing like, wasn't that ball 4? Nope. We haven't seen his little deal. That's Amore up on the scoreboard tonight, haven't we?
The advice?
Yeah.
Column? No, I think they only do that once every couple days, maybe once a series. Yeah.
I asked him today how many he did, and it's a whole bunch of them. So there's a lot of them left we haven't seen. And then I guess they can kind of, after that, a couple of months, they can throw some repeats out there.
Might get him back in the studio too later. A lot of people looking for advice.
Well, he makes a living advising pitchers what to throw.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Rolled to second. Jeanette. That's Harrison, always hustling. Pirates lead this ball game 4-0.
4-0 Pirates. Well, Brewers first base Carlos Subero surely has to be enjoying his first season on the Brewers' big league coaching staff. We mentioned this last year. He managed the Brewers AA team, the Biloxi Shuckers, and they began the season on a whopping 55-game road trip. That's right, 55 games. You see, construction delays on their new ballpark forced them to spend the first 60 days on the road, covering 9 different cities. Now, Subero told me his message to the team was simple before the trip. We have 2 options. We can make this a great story that we can tell our kids and grandkids about, or we can make a complete mess out of this. Well, you can bet what they did. They made it a great story. And get this, they were in first place when the trip came to a conclusion. Now, Subero had his wife, 2 kids, and grandkid with him for the entire trip. And he didn't travel on the team bus. He had his own van that followed the bus to each city. It's pretty impressive stuff by the Brewers' first base coach to get through it in a story. Unprecedented in all of baseball. 55 games. They ended up playing 54 because one ended up getting rained out, but it did cover 60 days. He arranged for certain days for family to do laundry together and get everything done. Really a great job by him. And Subero, back in 1995, played a season in the Pirates' single-A farm system.
Can you believe 54 games? My gosh.
I can't even imagine what that would be like.
I was going to ask you what your longest road trip you can recall.
Living in a bus for that.
Man. Boy. One out. Chris Carter bounced to David Freese. Here's Aaron Hill. 13 ground ball outs now for Nice. Two and one. And Aaron Hill, who has walked and singled. One out in the 7th inning.
It'd be nice to see Nice get through the 7th inning. Just give the bullpen 2 innings to work. We were talking about that in the open, about the bullpen has pitched more innings than any other pen to this point.
Tony Watson getting ready. Full count. Ball 4. 3rd walk. Day automotive this day in Pirates history. This day 1996. Pirates beat the Cardinals 13-3. Pair of grand slams. Orlando Merced in the 1st inning. And then Jay Bell hit one in the 6th. Pirates pounded out 20 hits. Merced had 3 of them, as did Carlos Garcia, Al Martin, and Keith Osick. Jeff King had 4 knocks. Zane Smith, the winner. John Lieber, final 3 innings, got the save. Scooter Gennett with a fly ball toward right, sending Polanco back toward the track. And a nice catch. He went a long way. Looked down to see the room that he had. 2 outs.
A little bit of a late break on it. He didn't know that ball was hit that hard. The first couple of steps, he didn't really get after it. But then he realized right about now he's got to go as hard as he could. That long reach of his.
There's that long reach for the 2nd out.
He can probably get about halfway up that 21-foot wall.
Ramon Flores takes a strike. 2 outs here in the 7th inning with a runner at first base. And Ramon Flores, who's grounded out twice, facing John Nice. Bounce to Jaso, goes down to his knees, and the out. And they keep it right here for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. What a game for John Nice tonight, blanking the Brewers through his 7 innings of work. Fine defensive work behind him. And again, we'll keep it here for the 7th inning stretch at PNC Park. A great crowd on hand to watch Bucco baseball.
Everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Looks like he's done after a fine 3-hit performance. 7 shutout innings, just what the Pirates needed. Talked about this at the outset, getting some length, and John Neese was just all over the strike zone and got some help with the double play ball. Test was turned in the 2nd inning. Neese ended up with just 3 strikeouts, so they put the ball in play, which of course helped limit the pitch count and get him to 7 innings. And the hugs in the dugout. Josh Harrison, Andrew McCutchen. And I'm sure they're laughing about that catch that Polanco just made. There's the line for John Neese. 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 96 pitches. Pretty tidy there, Bob.
Yes, it is. I think it's a great example of you know, when you go out there and you throw strikes, you get the ball put in play, and the team plays strong defense behind you. That's the kind of outing you're going to have. Keep the pitch count down, be efficient. Beautiful thing. A lot of ground balls. You love to see that. What's nice about those ground balls too, Greg, is that if you do get some guys on, the ground balls will give you 2 outs. Get those double plays.
There's Jordy Mercer lining a ball inside the line. What a game he's had. Leadoff double for Jordy Mercer.
He's hit the ball well 3 times in a row, and he's been kind of the leader of the pack when it comes to playing that good defense. Makes several nice plays tonight.
Mercer, who lined to short his first time, then lined a sacrifice fly to deep left his 2nd time up, begins the bottom of the 7th with a double to right. Carlos Torres appears in his 4th game and faces Matt Joyce, the pinch hitter. Joyce, who delivered a pinch hit 3-run homer last night, his first home run as a Pirate.
It really was a huge momentum split change. Joyce hit that ball out, but then the Brewers were able to come back when they got bats in their hand and kind of take those runs right back. When he hit it, though, I was thinking, Greg, okay, here they come.
Joyce into the plate for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th last night. 2 on, nobody out. Against Jimmy Nelson off the top of the fence and into the seats for his first Pirate home run. Made it a 5-4 ball game. Later in the inning when Marte doubled home a run. Home run got them to within 2. Marte's double made it a 1-run affair. Then, as Bob said, the Brewers, mainly Ryan Braun, another 2-run homer in the 8th. Torres able to strike out Joyce.
Chase downstairs a little bit.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Neese deserves a cold one. What a job tonight. Really, I think, though, Greg, that he's just, tonight, he's just more of what we saw in the past.
I agree. I think we've seen kind of a consistent guy through 3 starts.
Absolutely.
The big difference is the defense tonight behind him.
And there's going to be nights where when they put the ball in play, they're going to be in holes. They're going to maybe find a chalk line, a gap occasionally, and you're a go after the hitter type guy, make him put the ball in play. Luck plays in that sometimes, and it's not your night. They find the holes, they get the hits, but most of the time when you don't help them out with a lot of base on balls, where he's got 5 walks now in his 3 starts, that's just right.
Two and one on John Jay, so he's 1 for 3.
Make the other team have to do something to beat you. Don't give them that helping hand. I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but one of the things that Ray Searage preaches is to throw strike 1 and to make something happen in those first 3 pitches. The only way you can make something happen is throw strikes.
Caminero, the righty, Watson, the lefty. Ray Searage. Full count on Jaso. Called a strike. Still 3-2. Want to pass along our condolences to the family of Bob Wurzburger, big Pirates fan who passed away recently at the age of 68 from West Sunbury up in Butler County. Our thoughts and prayers to the Bob Wurzburger family, his wife Katie, son Robert, and grandchildren. Another 3-2 pitch. There's the walk. 2 on for McCutchen. Check out the Nissan Road Ahead. Starters tomorrow, Zach Davies will get the call against Juan Nicasio. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock. Nicasio went 6 innings against the Tigers. Gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Wearing the pillbox style caps and the late 70s, early 80s Pirate unis. I think that walk and block have a surprise or 2 in store for you, so you won't want to miss that. Can't make it to the ballpark for Kids Sunday. Make sure you're tuned to Root Sports. Joe and Bob are going Hollywood on us.
Yeah, we are going to try to get into the fun of things as far as throwback unis.
Elizabeth, she loved the home run in the 5th. Again, she gave Kutch those flowers. Opening homestand. There is ball 3. Green light swinging. 3-1.
They got a decent hit or pitch to hit on 3-0. A fastball up out over the plate. Maybe a little too anxious.
And now they are loaded for David Freese. Really would like to put the game away. And
this could do it.
Coast the last couple innings. Derek Johnson. Once again. Brewers pitching coach for the trip. Taylor Youngman went 6, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. He was undefeated last year in 4 starts against the Pirates. Fired up for the Buccos.
Oh, they got fireworks coming after the game. What a night. Summer's coming.
See if the Pirates get a big swing here from Freese. Took the big swing,
He
came
did
up
take
empty.
the big swing. A couple of grand slams in his career. I'll take just a hit here, though. Only need the grand slam. Just a base hit would put the game away, I believe.
Jordy Mercer doubled to start the inning, and with one out, John Jaso drew a free pass. Andrew McCutchen also walked. Ground ball, a short 6-4-3. The Pirates not able to cash in, but still lead it 4-0.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
4-0. Along the Riverwalk here at PNC Park, the Pirates shutting out these Milwaukee Brewers in the middle game of this 3-game series. Sean Rodriguez comes on to play first base, a double switch about in the 9th spot. And the new pitcher, Tony Watson, looking for a bounce back after giving up 3 runs on Thursday against the Tigers.
Yeah, really kind of an un-Tony Watson-like stat sheet. We'll get that cleaned up, though.
What did we say on Thursday? 340 big league appearances in a Pirates uniform. Only the 6th time he had given up as many as 3 runs in 1 inning. That's how un-Tony-like it was.
Just moving up that list of appearances by lefties.
Yeah, he is. And out in front, 0-2. Colin Walsh, switch hitter, pinch hitting. One more appearance, he'll match Bob Veal all time among left-handers. Wilbur Cooper, way back, appeared in 469 games. John Graybo, John Candelaria, Scott Sauerbeck, and Bob Veal. Graybo, Sauerbeck, and Watson are all relievers exclusively. Candelaria did both. Three and two. Bullpen, Sam Freeman.
Lee Tunnel.
Boy, I don't know what's more unusual, to see what Watson did on Thursday or to see him walk a batter, especially with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, 4-0. Just ought to be throwing strikes.
Domingo Santana is 1 for 3. Ball one on Santana. Ball two, and right away Cervelli out. 34,957 on a Saturday night in Pittsburgh, PA.
Yeah, they have been very happy to this point. Kind of got to see just about everything you come to a ball game here at PNC Park to see. Awful lot of kids here tonight, isn't it, Greg?
Oh. Should be a lot tomorrow as well on a Kids Sunday. First one of the year. Two and one after the visit from Cervelli. Watson pounded a strike in there.
Hang in there, 6 more outs. Then we got fireworks.
Two and two on Santana. Came over from the Astros in the Carlos Gomez deal last year. 6'5", 220 pounds. Was 1 for 5, drove in a run last night plus a walk, and tonight 1 for 3, a double in the third. Missed this one toward Polanco. Well, Penguin playoff coverage continues next week from Madison Square Garden as the Penguins take on the Rangers. Game 3 of the first round. See it here on Root Sports Tuesday starting at 6 p.m. with a special 1-hour pregame presented by Heritage Valley Health System. And then that's going to be a Pucks and Bucks night because we'll be in San Diego for the Pirates Padres for the Penguin Pirate doubleheader here on Root Sports. Reason to cheer. One and one on VR. And Tony Watson, his 340th career appearance in a Pirates uniform. Has been oh so consistent. Mr. Reliable out of that bullpen.
And really, he has never been a guy that you would just think of as, okay, come in, we've got to bring him in. Left-handers are coming up. From day one, he's been just as effective against right-handers as lefties. Doesn't matter to him. Anytime he's had to move into that closer role on a temporary basis, he's always been able to handle that job okay. Cool and calm.
31 years old. Sioux City, Iowa native. Pirates drafted him out of the University of Nebraska. Back-to-back years, earned run averages under 2. 191 ERA last year, 163 in 2014. Got it.
That was quick. Very impressive. You could tell he was on a mission.
Yeah. Well, 2 walks and Ryan Braun coming to the plate.
I might have rung him up on this one, Greg.
Yep, I agree.
You know, Cervelli's probably thinking now, when I got tagged out at second a couple innings ago.
When Gregory Polanco was called out on that strike him out, throw him out double play.
Without even asking.
Yeah.
The different umpires, I guess they see that check swing differently at times. It's always a tough one to anticipate. I know when you're standing out on the mound, you think they should call every time. Like every time you say ask, the reason you're doing that is because you think they swung. And maybe 1 out of 10 you get a strike call on when you have that plea.
So just the 4th time in Tony Watson's career he has walked as many as 2 batters in 1 inning. It sets the stage for this confrontation. Watson against Braun. Braun 3 for 10 in his career with a home run versus Tony Watson. Bounces it to short. There's one. Double play. So it's a scoreless top of the 8th for Tony Watson. Maybe not as elementary as it normally is, but the Pirates lead 4-0.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Yeah, Ray having a little discussion there with Tony about, it's like some mechanic stuff, where the hands are, and how he's kind of setting up. Looked like Ray was telling him maybe he was bending over a little too far, or maybe not far enough when he was coming into that set position.
Sam Freeman gives up a long fly ball out to Starling Marte. Freeman was picked up after the Rangers had designated him for assignment at the end of March. Marte feeling that hand a little bit.
Don't like that. Keep messing with that hand. Maybe just got some bees in there.
I just put that glove on you talked about, the mitt, right?
Yeah.
Got that special powers.
Yep. That'll do it. Just go put it on right now.
Yep. Cervelli, a couple of hits and 3 trips to the plate. Cracked his bat there.
Gonna go back and get some chalk for that cue stick. It's got the power of the 3 rivers in that left arm.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Infield hit in the 4th and scored. Pirates scored 3 times, broke a scoreless tie in the bottom of the 4th inning. Marte led off with a double, then Cervelli had the infield hit. After Polanco ground out, a run scored. Josh Harrison tripled home Cervelli. Jay Hay scored on a Jordy Mercer sacrifice fly. Andrew McCutchen hit his first home run of the year in the 5th. And that has been the scoring. Pirates out hitting the Brewers 7-3. John Neese went 7, allowed 3 hits. Mark Melanson. Won't be a save opportunity, but he'll get some work in.
Yeah,
9th inning.
Needs to unlimber a little bit.
And Cervelli works the walk. Sam Freeman, who pitched with the Texas Rangers last year after 3 seasons in St. Louis, had been designated for assignment at the end of spring training. So the Brewers worked out a deal. And it will be a left-on-left matchup with Polanco 0 for 3 with an RBI ground out in the 4th. Right away, Lucroy out to talk with Freeman.
You may be thinking he's kind of overthrowing that fastball a little bit. Two fastballs in a row. He couldn't get him down. It's a classic logo of the Brewers. I don't understand how they could ever change from that.
The ball and glove.
Yeah. There's a classic.
Yeah. Bob Uecker.
Look at that.
Hall of Famer.
He's in the front row there.
Yeah, he is. Hall of Famer Bob Uecker. Maybe not the first row. Front row. Come the back row.
He's up there, Weiss.
Can you draw where he is for us? I don't know where he is.
He's up there.
Oh, all right.
See him? And when you're up there, that's what you can see.
That's your view from there.
A beautiful ballpark. River and buildings. Really has become an icon, hasn't it? PNC Park.
Jay Hay 1 for 3. RBI triple in the fourth, and he scored the third run. All kids 14 and under get a Josh Harrison gnome tomorrow.
No, I'm not sure about gnomes. Are they like go in your garden to like bring you luck or something? Is that what the gnomes
That's
are?
what they do. They bring you luck, and they bring wherever you put them.
The Clint Hurdle was last year's gnome. Right?
Yes.
And gnomes can always have like a pointy hat on. Do you have any gnomes in your gardens at home?
Don't. You?
Not yet, but I'm going to put one in there after tomorrow.
You put a Jay Hay gnome in there?
Yeah.
Toward right. Ain't going to be foul.
Garden needs a lot of work, by the way.
There it is. Does it move like that?
But gnomes don't move that quick.
Yeah, they do. Kidding? Jay Hay gnome.
Did you see a gnome in a rundown?
Yeah. One and two. Lucroy encouraging Freeman to get it down.
It's not the first time he's done that.
Two balls, two strikes. the middle, a base hit. Cervelli waved. The throw from Flores won't get him. 5-0.
See two guys who really enjoy playing this game. Jehe, who hit it, and then when Cervelli popped up out of his slide, pumped his fist, big smile on his face.
Nothing. Jordy Mercer. Runners at first and second. Jordy Mercer has lined to short, sacrifice fly to deep left, double to right. The fine defensive plays.
Good looking bat, isn't it?
Excellent looking bat.
It is. It's one of the best looking bats of the night. Look at the grain. A nice piece of furniture.
That's like old Bucko gold.
Doesn't it look like a nice piece of furniture? Could make some nice floors out of it. Hardwood floors. Think anybody's ever done that?
I doubt it.
You know, like collect a bunch of old bats and make a floor out of them. Good, of course, flatten them down low.
Yeah.
If you're really handy, you should be able to do that.
Yeah. You make. We've seen people make rocking chairs out of them.
Yeah.
You've done that.
Flooring.
Yeah.
Flooring would be good. That would be the best.
Sounds like it's an idea that you're going to pass along to Lori.
No.
No.
We won't have that.
You will not have bats.
There's nobody handy.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I can like change a light bulb, things like that. Making flooring out of bats is beyond my skill level.
Well, Freeman has walked 3 in the inning. Pirates have scored a run in the inning to make it 5-0. And hold on to that bat.
Put that one back easy. You want to scrape it up. I guess that would be distressed flooring if it was scraped up.
Very good.
Could be
all
a
that
story
to get
too.
to that line.
It'd be a story too. You could like point out different bats in your floor. Now this bat right here hit a double back in '96. You know, or you could say it did even if you didn't.
That's
know.
right.
Yeah. Kind of like we do up here sometimes.
Occasionally.
See now the darker ones are the ones like that Sean Rodriguez has. That would be for kitchen cabinets. We'd make a nice set of cabinets out of those.
guess, caught looking.
Yeah, that ball looked like it might have been just a little bit inside.
Pirates, number 24, Cole Figueroa will bat for Watson. Cole Figueroa.
And now Cole Figueroa bats for Tony Watson. And hits this in the air to left. That ball's dropping. Foul.
Didn't stay fair, but found a good home, didn't it?
Ball to strike on the pinch hitter Cole Figueroa. Toward Braun and left. Pirates add to the lead. One more and three more to get to even the series. 5-0 Buccos. Nothing on to the ninth here at PNC Park. Juan Nicasio get the start tomorrow. Pirates wrap up this weekend series against the Brewers. See the game here on Root Sports starting at 1 p.m. with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. The Willie Stargell statue. And Pirate players be wearing those throwback late 70s style jerseys, black and gold with pillbox caps. We'll be doing that all summer long, Sunday home games. For a few seasons they were wearing those early 70s style unis. Mark Melanson. Unsafe situation.
Off to a good start, though, when he is out there in the save situation. 3 for 3.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off for the Brewers.
These can be some challenging innings for closers when they come in to get work and been out there for a while, and they're pitching either when they're behind a little bit or with a big lead, and they don't have that, I guess, that normal adrenaline or whatever it is that really gets them locked in. Let's see how Melanson fares in this situation on these 3 outs and a big lead.
One ball, 2 strikes. In case you're thinking about shutouts, the Pirates had 13 of them last year. 8 here at PNC Park. He was a part in a handful of those. Two balls, 2 strikes. Melanson last worked in the game on Monday, picking up his 3rd save in the 7-4 victory at Comerica over the Tigers. And Lucroy fouls it out of play. He has singled and bounced out twice. It's Nicasio tomorrow. He is seated. Had a good report from Francisco Liriano today in his bullpen session. Looks like he'll be ready to make his next start next week. Also good news from AAA Indy tonight, where Tyler Glasnow started and pitched very well for AAA Indianapolis, coming on the heels of the start that Jamison Tyone had on Wednesday. Glasnow went 5 innings, a run, 4 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts.
No walks, 9 Ks. Very good to see that.
Jonathan Lucroy.
Threw 2 of those cutters that he starts off and tries to catch the inside corner with. First time did get called. That time it did. Almost the exact same pitch.
Here's Chris Carter.
How about the movement on that one? It broke like a slider, but was 91. Maybe the biggest breaking cutter I've seen Melanson throw.
Opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
2-0. And he falls behind big Chris Carter, 3-0. Mark Melancon, Major League saves leader last year. 51.
Remember last year at this time, there was a lot of wondering if he was right.
Velocity was down a bit.
Yeah. Went on. That was best season yet.
One of 12 pitchers in Major League history to earn 50 or more saves in a season.
Is there any tougher sport to see the future in than baseball?
Can't be. So unpredictable. Couple of strikeouts looking.
Well, he's making that, I guess you can kind of call it a backdoor cutter, really work tonight against the righties. He starts it off just a little bit off the plate inside, and it moves in just enough to get the call for the strike. Cervelli's doing a nice job catching those that get those calls for him.
2 down. Bob, do you think that a guy like Melancon can try certain things in a game like this that he wouldn't be able to do in a safe situation?
Well, yeah, if you're going to try something, this certainly
so
is a
I'm
time
just wondering,
to do
is he
it.
trying to kind of just add a little wrinkle here? I've got a 5-0 lead. I don't want things to get crazy. And that's a foul ball off the bat of Aaron Hill.
Yeah, and Melancon is very much a thinker. I mean, he's a smart guy, and so I wouldn't surprise me at all that he uses the few opportunities that he gets to pitch in ball games like this to maybe try a little something that he's been thinking about, or maybe he tried it in a game previously and it wasn't working in a safe situation, and now he wants to go back on it and really kind of commit to it and make it work. It's tough to have sidelines when you're a reliever. You can't, get up and throw during batting practice or anything like that. You might have to pitch that night.
And that was a very close pitch. Melancon doesn't get a call here, but very well could have. 1-1 on Aaron Hill, 2 outs, 5-0 Pirates. Veteran Aaron Hill been on base all 3 times to the plate. John Neese 1 out away from going 2-0 as a member of the Pirates in his first 3 starts in the Bucco unit. 34,957 tonight. And it goes to 3 balls and 1 strike on Aaron Hill. Andrew McCutchen picked up his first home run of the young year. Solo blast in the 5th. 2 hits apiece for Francisco Cervelli and Josh Harrison. 3-2. Jay Hay a couple of ribbies and a run scored. Cervelli scored 2 runs. Outstanding defense led by that man, Jordy Mercer. 3-2. Everybody up. We'll do it again. This one foul. Still in good shape with 20 pitches. You have Monday off, but you know you don't want to go too much further because you want to have him available tomorrow if need be. I'd like to end it here, if at all possible. And Hill says not so fast.
Not going to cooperate, is he? Be interesting if Hill gets on. How many pitches do they allow Melanson to throw in a non-save opportunity?
This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat after striking out Lucroy and Carter to start the 9th. Ah, yes, raise the Jolly Roger with 3 straight strikeouts, looking for Mark the Shark. A 5-0 shutout.
Nice little tune-up there. Huh? Go out, pitch in a non-save situation, strike out the side. What a nice game for everyone, the players, the fans. Had a little everything. Good way to start a nice winning streak, don't you think, Greg?
I think it's perfect. By shutting out the Brewers, the first whitewash of the year for the Pirates. They get back to 500 right away. They end the 4-game losing streak and set the stage for a series win tomorrow with Juan Nicasio on the hill. Josh Harrison, Gnomes given away to the kids tomorrow. Nice team win. John Neese, 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, is 2-0. Plenty to talk about. Back to the studio, Paul and T.